This is bike racing as you've never seen it before. The course is virtual, but the effort is real. High-tech smart trainers and human athletes in unison competing to take the podium. This is the CVR World Cup, driven by data.
In real-life racing, riders are used to seeing data, but it's their own data. It allows them to measure their efforts and maybe keep something in the tank for that sprint, but they have no access to their rivals' data. They can try to read body language and they can test legs, but they can't see power numbers. In virtual bike racing, it's different. Every rider has access to every rival's data, and that makes for super exciting racing. Let's take a tour of the CVR cockpit, where all the data magic happens. Joining me very shortly is James Gill, author of Titanium Geek Fan Manual for Virtual Cycling. So you are our man for this.
The data that you at home and the riders will be seeing will look like this on our telemetry screen. So we can see our rider watts per kilo. That's basically saying how much power that rider is putting out compared to their weight. Underneath that, we've actually got the riders' faces themselves, so we can see who's in first, second, third, and who's beginning to drop off down towards the back. And we at home and down here have got a good idea where everybody is using the gap numbers underneath. So this is indicating that our ride leader here, Joel, from earlier on, he's 47 seconds ahead of the number one chaser. So he's really got a good lead. And the other guys are going to be able to work out how much power they need to put in and if they need to save their legs. We can see the locations of the riders at the various points on the course, and we know, because of the different colours, what's going to happen here. So on the green, we're looking relatively flat. They're going to be pushing to try and catch up, whereas when we've got darker reds and things like that, we know the power is really going to have to be deployed because they're going flat out uphill.
Mention power there and weighing in the riders. How important is power to weight ratio in all this?
Absolutely. The higher you can get your numbers, the better your power to weight ratio, the greater chance you have of winning. And essentially, that's what a race is all about.
Why do people love virtual racing so much?
I think because you've got the community environment, you can see what's going on with everybody else, and it gives you that additional sense that your data is so much more important and you can plan more with that. Rather than knowing what's going on, 3 riders back, you can see where you are in the peloton, and more importantly, see if you're about to be attacked.
Now you race yourself, and it's very warm in here. How important is it to cool the riders down with these fans?
Well, that's simple biology. Outside, we've got the wind right on our faces, cooling our bodies, and we need to be cool in order to get our muscles to work to deploy that power. So we've got these big fans here because you're on a static bike, you're not going anywhere, to move the sweat and help the people push out the power with their muscles.
Now the atmosphere is really starting to build here in Shoreditch, and it's about time we met our female roster of racers for tonight.
I'm Rachel. I'm from Newbury in Berkshire. And yeah, this is my first CVR World Cup. I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, a little birdie tells me you're very, very strong on a TT course. That must stand you in good stead for tonight.
I'm good on a TT bike. I can go I can go a long way at a constant speed. Sprinting's not necessarily my forte, but I've raced on Zwift before. I've used Zwift for a couple of years now, so I'm quite familiar with it. And it's just great to race people in real life who you've seen just on a computer screen, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Can you tell us anything about your tactics?
I always have tactics, but they always go out of the window the minute the go thing starts, so no, I don't have any tactics at all.
And what is the key to success when you're on Zwift?
Pedal like crazy, and if you feel like you're not going to die, push harder.
Are you a good candidate for a long breakaway today?
Oh, I might just give it a go. So.
Okay, well, I feel like I'm drawing too much tactics out, so I'm going to run down here a little bit more. Just a final word up here. Let's have some fighting talk now. Bring it on. Huge good luck to all of our riders tonight. Now, every rider has an equal chance tonight, and anything can happen in racing. But the next 3 riders we're going to meet might, in some people's eyes, be heading for that podium. Let's meet them.
Hi, my name is Katrina Weiss, and I'm riding to represent the USA. and I live in Bradford, Virginia, and I have been riding for 4 years. I am super excited to participate in the CVR World Cup. I have done the Las Vegas race, and it's just amazing to actually be there in real life beside of the other competitors.
Hi, my name's Kerry Conaby and I'm riding to represent the UK. I'm from South Oxfordshire. I've been riding since I was a wee nipper, but I've only owned a road bike for the last 7 years. I've ridden with some of the other ladies before, so I know it's going to be a challenge. I'm not super experienced with race tactics, so I tend to ride on my own instinct. I'm just going to do my best and enjoy the race.
One final thing before we go. We're going to be throwing out terms like watts per kilogram. And if you're relatively new to this or you're an esports viewer watching for the first time, every rider puts out watts. Every rider is measured their weight in kilograms. And so it's the division of those two that of your maximum power against how much you weigh that helps to determine really how hard you're working and how much you can do with that work. Really strong riders are in that 4+ watts per kilogram. And so we'll call out these numbers. You'll be able to see the difference. Even if you're new to this, you'll be able to see the difference. All right, we are 1 minute away from the race. So we're going to get to call this in just a second, but last minute thoughts.
As far as the idea of watts per kilogram there, this is as official as it gets, okay, when it comes to Zwift racing. In the virtual worlds, a lot of times there's a little bit of criticism about, well, what do you know if the weight was? What do you know what the calibration of the trainers, all this stuff? Every rider here has been weighed in, and every rider is on the exact same trainer today. So this is about as verified as it could get.
All right, it's time. So I believe we're going to throw right back down to Rachel.
We are in the race event, getting ready to go, and it looks like a director is telling the girls what's going on. We do have a shot here of Kerry Conabear, and it looks like racers are underway.
Big push
and we're
going
to see what the push is right from the get-go. We do have Kerry from the BRT team immediately right to the front. Looks like being followed closely by Lindsay Garrett, then Heidi actually Gould there. Not a Zwifter actually.
No.
Making her way to the front as well, but I mean, this is a fast start as we thought. 562 watts,
Oh my
175 beats per minute, 176 there coming from Lindsay with a lot of focus.
Absolutely, and they're pushing here, trying to stay on the wheel. Now, it's interesting to see who's letting people get to the front. We talk about that aerodynamic advantage. They definitely want to be in there. The intensity on their faces right now is palpable. So cool to watch. Now, Rachel backs off just a hair. She's still putting out a lot of watts, but not a huge over-the-top cadence. Her heart rate is peaked at this point. She definitely wants to make sure she puts the pressure on the front of the field, and the other ladies are going to try to just stay around her and on her wheel at this time.
Yeah, and you do see Rachel here. She's head down. Looks like she's just going to do her TT effort on the front. We were actually predicting what's going to happen, what's the tactic going to be here, and I have a feeling that Rachel's just going to ride her race. She is such a strong TT type rider, but look at the efforts already from these women, and now we already have a little bit of a gap, and it looks like Heidi, maybe tactically there, because she's Team UK, is backing off and not pulling Rachel in. That might actually be a tactical move there coming from Heidi. I believe it was Heidi there. Heidi Gould, definitely, with a little bit of a tactical move there to allow Rachel to go off the front. Lindsay already at 180 beats per minute.
That is
and
high.
Now things may be in trouble already as that gap was allowed to go.
Now, so, she's got to make that decision if she's going to move up there right now to the front. And Lindsay was definitely eyeballing that gap, trying to decide if this was the moment to do that. Now, I can tell you that Rachel, as strong as she is not going to be able to hold that heart rate all day. Her best 20-minute high heart rate is 178 beats per minute. That's about the threshold that she can go. Now, she's a T-tier. She's going to be able to do that for longer than most people. But she's not going to be able to do that for an hour. It's just not going to happen. So they're going to have to work together. She's got her teammates back there.
It does look like Lindsay has been fairly isolated, though, at this point, surrounded by UK riders. I'm not sure she's going to get a whole lot of help, actually, amongst this group. We do see Heidi Gould here, the UK XC mountain biker, 173 beats sprint calming down a little bit, and I have a feeling that the only time that we are going to see Miss Rachel Elliott again might be on the climb. I think her avatar there is just out of sight.
Yes,
if we can get a shot there of the race leader, we might be able to see exactly what's happening here. But we do see Heidi there making a little kick, actually, up and over the top of the climb here, up into 300 watts, 178 beats per minute, maybe trying to close things down. Lindsay, with that draft still only 4 meters back at this point, and if you are unfamiliar with the game, you do still have a draft within 5 meters. Carrie Conabear there now just getting right back on terms with the front of the race, not letting things go. Lindsay grabbing the wheel there again, it looks like, as they are coming back down toward the sprint, and the Essies are over. The first key point to watch out for, and already there is a gap, but it looks like Rachel Elliott is still within sights of the riders at this point, Chris.
Yeah, here's what I don't understand. She's got her teammates on the front of the chase group doing too much work. If they're really working together as a team, they should be able to back off a little bit, let those world riders come to the front, and let the UK riders sit on the back. Let them chase. You never chase your own teammate. Now, if you want to get on the front and you want to set a false pace, you want to set something that looks like it could come back, but it won't, you want to get them to come around you, to be impatient and say, I'll put in the work right now. You want the world to try to put in the work. You want people like Lindsay at the front. You want Janice. You want Katrina, Hannah, all at the front, so that they're going to spend their energy trying to chase back Rachel Elliott.
Now, it's going to be up. The shot there on Lindsay at this point. What's going through her mind at this point? Being a strong climber, that's probably all she's got on her mind at this point to close things down.
I'm going to hang in this group. I'm not going to get separated from this group. Maybe Lindsay's thinking, she's moving to the front here, saying, let's go, ladies. Let's pull this back. And she's definitely got some folks in there. Now, we'll get these gaps here in just a second. It looks like she has a huge gap already through Sprint Town. That's got to be, 35 seconds at this point? We'll get those gaps for you in just a moment. But she is running away with the lead of this right now on the first lap.